And welcome back. As Gen Z continues to rise in the workforce, a new Glassdoor report reveals that by next year, 1 in 10 managers will be from Gen Z. Now, the oldest member of Gen Z are approaching 28 years old and bringing nearly a decade of work experience. However, some studies show that older generations remain skeptical about their reliability and ability to manage effectively. Now, to talk about what this shift means for workplace dynamics, we're joined today by Betsy Allen Manning, a workplace expert and CEO of Destination Workplace. Betsy, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
That is great. Now, talk about with more Gen Z workers moving into the management positions in 2025. How do you think their leadership style will differ from that of older generations, and what are some of their strengths?
Yeah, leadership. Gen Zs are going to bring an amazing leadership style change along with them. The hierarchy approach is going to change. They believe in being more collaborative than commanding, and this is going to work in their favor. According to our national workforce study we recently conducted, 89% of American workers say that they need a sense of team and belonging and collaboration in order to have job satisfaction. So this is going to be a retention factor for them. And what's really neat is that 73% of Gen Zs say that they need a sense of purpose at work in order to consider a place a destination workplace. That place where we all say, I want to work there and I love it here, I'm going to stay. And that means that as Gen Zs, as leaders, are going to have a more meaningful workplace experience. And that's going to be a retention factor as well, because people work harder for a purpose than they do for a paycheck.
That's good. Now, what do you think will be the biggest challenges new Gen Z managers will face managing teams of older workers?
Yes, I like to say seasoned workers since I'm in that category, but they're going to have a couple of challenges with some of them. Number one, they're going to need to earn their respect. Some of the more seasoned workers are thinking, I have a sweater that's older than you are. How could you possibly lead me? So they're going to work on managing and really owning their leadership style and having leadership skills the minute they get into their job. We're no longer in days where you can learn leadership on the job. You need to know it beforehand. Second, they're going to need to bridge the communication gap. We have a generation that is all about digital messaging, and we have the other more seasoned generations that prefer face-to-face communication. So I don't know about you, I can't get a millennial or Gen Z on the phone when I want to call them. So Gen Zs are going to have to learn how to bridge that gap and create a good balance between the two.
That's some good information. Now, there's been some talk about Gen Z's work ethic and mental health concerns. Do you think these factors will impact their ability to lead effectively?
Yeah, I think there's been a stigma around Gen Zs and mental health, and it won't necessarily be a weakness. It could be a leadership strength for them. We've been operating for years under the facade of working hard and getting burned out, and we call it grit. And Gen Zs call it what it actually is: toxic and unsustainable. So they will help create that workforce that is a little bit more focused on employee well-being. And when it comes to their work ethic, they don't necessarily want to make productivity less effective. They just want to make it and redefine it. So they're going to look at productivity and say, where do we need to be more effective and efficient? Can we use AI tools to make us more efficient as well? They're going to cut out processes and meetings that no longer need to exist. And I think that's what we all want anyway.
And how do you think Gen Z's approach to work-life balance will influence their management style and workplace culture?
Yeah, I mean, their motto is work hard, but not at the cost of your well-being. So they're going to focus more on a culture of flexibility. So think hybrid workplace cultures, more remote work options, and trust versus micromanagement. Also expect some fewer late night calls and emails. They are about work-life balance. So when it's time to clock out, they are done for the day. They're going to be setting those boundaries and setting new standards when it comes to the workplace culture.
Those are some good tips. And what advice would you give to Gen Zers who are about to become managers for the first time?
Yeah, first remember leadership has two components to it. You're managing tasks, but you're also inspiring people. So learning people skills, understanding human behavior will be essential for you. It's why DISC and human behavior is the #1 program we teach in our leadership program. It will change everything that you do in leadership from the beginning. Don't be afraid to ask for advice from some of your more seasoned workers. They've been there longer, they have more experience, and they're going to help you in the workplace as well. And make sure that you're investing in updated leadership programs. Some companies are still teaching leadership development from the 80s. Times have changed, employee expectations have changed. So learn from programs that have met those employee expectations of today.
Thank you so much, Betsy Allen Manning, for talking with us this morning. You provided some very helpful tips about Gen Z and the workplace. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.